Right here. Okay.
What kind of disgusting, despicable lack of respect is that Billy What's-His-Name show booking a match for the total package Lex Luger and Super Brawl? Super Saturday? What is it? I don't even know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Brawl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday? Can he afford to pay me to wrestle around? I don't know. I'm one of the biggest legends and stars ever in this. God! And your t-shirts are too tight too, Billy! And you book a match with me against Ryan Killings? Look at me! I'm a total package. I will rip him apart. I'm pissed now.
Hello everybody. It's me, Zach, and I'm here with an unfortunate announcement. CM Wonk, Chaz, we had to terminate his contract because there was an incident this Tuesday, this previous Tuesday where we broadcast, where he got really aggressive while he was eating some Swedish fish, and he was yelling and he was throwing things, and monitors were jostled, and he grabbed a front face lock on Dubs, and I feared for my life, and nobody should ever feel like that at work. Nobody. And legal wanted me, we consulted with legal and our disciplinary committee, and we decided to terminate his contract, unfortunately. So he's gone. Please enjoy the show.
Guys, welcome to Getting Some Color. Yes, unfortunately, Chaz did put me in some type of maneuver, and it scared. I was scared for my life too. And he shoved Swedish fish in my nose, my mouth, and in my armpits. That's weird, but he did it, and we had to let him go. And yeah. Good luck in your future endeavors. See you in the Impact Zone. All right, guys, welcome to Getting Some Color. We're going to be covering Bash at the Beach 1994 and WWF Raw August 1st, 1994. No news, but I guess I want to kind of bring it up. Did you see Becky Lynch won the NXT Championship against that lady?
Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, I've heard it's a really good match that apparently it beat viewership to the MTV Music Awards.
I saw the ratings for it, which that's another kind of story that's been going on over the summer, is NXT's ratings have been going up. They've been climbing. And they're pretty much about back to where they were at when they were having good ratings.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I heard about this where it's like Becky's going to be in NXT and she's going to wrestle Tiffany Stratton for the women's title, which, by the way, Tiffany Stratton, she's pretty good. She's got this Valley girl, bitch kind of gimmick to her.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I thought, oh, she's one of those model types. Maybe they're thinking she'll be like a Trish Stratus or whatever. No, she's gotten pretty good actually. I've seen her work.
Mm-hmm.
And she did the best looking swanton I've seen since Jeff Hardy used to be able to do it good.
That's awesome.
She did. This is the sequence that ended the match was something was going on the top rope, and then she got Becky down on the ground, and then she just did a swanton, but it was she dived, she was diving into a fucking pool.
Mm-hmm.
But she rotated her body just the right way where it was a swanton. It just looked brutal. I was like, God. And something happened where she you know that move Sheamus used to do where he get a guy up on his shoulders and flip forward, and it was like a roll thing?
Yeah.
She did that to Becky, jumped up and did a triple jump moonsault thing. She was going to do that, all in one motion. That sequence happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she's pretty athletic. And then she missed it because Becky rolled out of the way. Manhandle slam, 1, 2, 3. It was it. And it got 850,000 viewers or something.
Yeah,
which is that's what Dynamite usually does.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I like what they're kind of doing now, where they're sending like superstars to NXT to like build the talent. Because you have Becky Lynch who's doing that, and then you also have Baron Corbin who's bringing back the Lone Wolf to go against Braun Breaker and shit.
Yeah.
Because did you see what one guy got fucking annihilated on Twitter because NXT was doing this thing where Braun Breaker went crazy and like fucking almost killed Von Wagner with the steel steps.
Yeah.
And then someone on Twitter posted their video of fucking Braun Breaker missing Von Wagner's head, and people were just like, "You're exposing the business, you piece of shit."
Damn.
But yeah, like I thought it was real because it showed Von Wagner on a stretcher with blood on his head, and I thought like Braun Breaker by accident like slipped and maybe the steel steps like killed him or whatever. But no, it was a work, and you know some idiot fucking exposed it. But I like what they're doing with Braun Breaker. He's building up to be like this insane. He's kind of like a mix between his father and his uncle, and it's fucking weird. It works though.
He tapped into that for his heel persona. Yeah. It's working.
Yeah. I'm excited to see NXT and see where it's going from here.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of been trending up since I feel like the beginning of this year. Like Dom is like the North American champion. That was like another thing that boosted their ratings is when they got Dom down there. Dirty Dom, the biggest heat magnet right now in the business.
Oh yeah, I guess we could talk about this. I'm actually scared, just like you said, for Rhea Ripley because she's going to be feuding against Nia Jax, and I don't know if she's been training, or if she's still reckless like how she is back in the day. But it's weird. I don't know.
We'll find out. I just don't like. I never disliked her really that much. It's just when she got in that string where she was like injuring people, I was like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe you need to like go tighten up your work or something. But I'm just worried that Rhea might get injured. That's like really the only thing. I'm like, I don't know.
I'm worried about that, and I'm worried about like Rhea Ripley going to the backside. Maybe this is like a vacation thing for her because she's been on like touring for a while now with Judgment Day, and maybe because it looks like they're trending towards breaking up the Judgment Day at some point in time. I don't really care for the only two people I care about is Dom and fucking mommy Rhea.
You know, like Damian Priest?
No, he's fucking stupid. Like the whole
What?
his suitcase and but that's another thing we can kind of bring up. They fucking got the tag team belts from Sammy and KO. Like,
yeah, I'm fine with that because you know what happened after they won that WrestleMania? Fuck all of nothing. They did nothing with them. So at least this is something.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess we'll see. You know, people are already talking about CM Punk going to WWE, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon because I don't know CM Punk's contract and, you know, if he's allowed to do that.
I remember seeing this thing where like somebody asked Tony about that. Like, did CM Punk have like a no compete clause? And he winced. He visibly winced when that question was asked, and I was like, that makes me think, no, no, he doesn't.
I don't.
We'll see.
Because there was rumors, and I don't know because the dirt sheets being like idiots or not. But apparently, CM Punk like said something to William Regal to the point where it was like asinine and stupid, and people were.
He got really aggressive with him. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess it's time because to talk about since William Regal or Steven Regal is in WCW. I guess it's time to get into Bash at the Beach, which we were supposed to do that last time, but I think Chaz had some work stuff to do, and also we had the two deaths of Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt, and then also life got in the way. So we're gonna do it now.
Right
Me and Zach going OG style back in the day, getting some color.
Yes, right.
All right. So we are in Orlando, Florida. Hence why Bash at the Beach, beaches are in Florida. And it's July 17th, 1994. We have 3 types of commentary. It looks like they are like subbed in and subbed out, but they have Tony Schiavone, Bobby Heenan, and Jesse Ventura on commentating, which I dig that, by the way. As far as the commentating team, all 3 of those guys.
Yeah.
They did a little we call it highlight thing with sensuous Sherry attacking Sting, and that
It was funny too because like it looked like this little guy ran into the ring to interfere with his match.
Yeah.
And it was Sherry dressed up as a man, and it was like funny. It's just...
Yeah, and this is where I found out that Sting is not going to be on Bash at the Beach at all.
It's fucked.
Yeah, is this like the first pay-per-view that we didn't see Sting on it?
For a long time, yeah. I feel like he wasn't at one of the ones we watched, but like I'm not real sure which one that is.
Mm-hmm.
But this is when Sting starts sliding into the background because of Hogan and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not the only one. It's other people too, like Vader. Like Vader's big heel run is going to end when Hogan beats Vader, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's going to have I spoiled it, but that happens.
Yeah.
And Flair too. He's going to start going on the back burner too. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's kind of amazing. Like Flair goes in the back burner and he stays with the company literally until like WWE buys WCW and shit. It's kind of weird.
Well, there was this period of time where it was like around 97, I want to say. It was either 97 or 98 where Flair happened to be at like in the same, like WWF was having a pay-per-view, and I think it was in Charlotte. It just so happened to be. And Flair that's where he lives, and he was out in town anyway because like his son had like a wrestling meet, like a tournament or whatever, for like when he was still in school. And Reed, that is, not David. And he was talking to Jim Cornette actually, and like somebody else about like they concocted this plan to get Flair on their TV, where they'd have him just appear in the crowd and say a wrestling champion from North Carolina is here, and they would show his son. Not it wouldn't focus on Rick, it would focus on Reed, but Flair's right there with him, obviously. So you see Ric Flair on WWF TV, but they wouldn't just say it's him. And it was gonna like lead to something. They thought maybe like, oh, we'll get Flair, or we'll get him out of there, and Flair fucking hates being there right now anyway. Like he was like fucking hating it. And damn it, it just didn't happen. They were like, no, let's not do it. It makes you wonder what could have happened.
Yeah, and that's why it's so surprising that he stays with that company, but then we wouldn't get some wonderful moments where he's like fucking stripping and throwing his fucking shoes in the crowd and elbowing the fucking mat while Mean Gene is trying to interview him. We wouldn't get that, so I guess fate happened that way.
Yeah, the money must have been good too, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's Turner, man, and I think Uncle Eric soon is going to be at the helm of WCW. I think next year, 95, is when he starts to become president or whatever.
I think so. It's either that or I think he might be doing it right now. I know he has influence right now. I just don't know how much of it.
Yeah. Well, soon we're going to be losing fucking Steve Austin. Well,
very soon.
Yeah. All right, so let's do the opening match. WCW World Television Title. Lord Steven Regal with Sir William versus Johnny B. Bad. And I don't know. I'm kind of tired of seeing Steven Regal even though he's great as a worker. And Johnny B. Bad is actually he's slowly turning into Mark Merrow. It's not even funny.
He started to grow on us a little bit since he became more serious.
Yeah.
And he's clearly trying harder at his matches again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is like Regal's great, but he's doing this like pattern where he has to wrestle this like chicken shit heel TV title match all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they have this pattern. The matches themselves have like a pattern. And I didn't write much about this match. Like I said, it's typical Regal versus babyface TV title match. Lots of mat wrestling in the beginning. Everything's fine. Bad hits a couple cool Japanese arm drags, and he does a dive outside. He wipes Regal out, and then they do more stuff. And then Bad goes for a sunset flip, the top rope one, but Regal reverses it or some shit and gets a 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bad gets mad and he beats up Sir William to get revenge so he doesn't look like a total loser. And then nothing happened. It was just like these matches are just really formulaic. But I noticed this time they did not keep up with the timekeeping. They didn't say 15 minutes remain. And they didn't do that at all this time, which I think was bad, actually.
Yeah, because I think because of what we're feeling, me, you, and I think Chaz had the same feeling where we know it's going to happen, where it's very predictable. Where it's like, oh, it's going to be the last second, and either it's going to have a dusty finish where, the timer runs out, and then the baby face wins, or time runs out and somehow Regal still gets the win. That's why I was surprised when Larry Zbyszko won, because that was something fucking new.
I know, yeah. I was like, whoa, that match was good too.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's just like, I think it's hurting Regal more than helping him with this title, in my opinion.
I think so too. He's getting stale doing this act. I didn't have anything else to say about it. I gave it a 5 out of 10 because it wasn't like bad, but at the same time, it didn't really do anything.
Yeah, I gave it a little bit 5.1 out of 10 because I gave a little 0.1 for Johnny B. Bad because he's getting good. I mean, I'm rooting for the guy. I was actually rooting for him to win because I'm a little biased because I want Regal to lose. And I don't know if that's good booking in a way where I want the babyface to win. But at the same time, it could be just because of the pattern and stuff. So I give it a 5.1 out of 10. The commentary team hyped the main event some more because Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, those are like two good wrestlers. So
those are two good wrestlers, Tony.
Yep. Tony Schiavone. Let's see over here. Antonio Inoki is introduced to the crowd by Mean Gene, and he's here to collect an award. And oh yeah, keep in mind, like everybody, I saw this like 2 weeks ago. So I'm like in my notes, I'm like reading it and remembering it. And if I remember correctly, this is the guy in North Korea, right? The Dark Side of the Ring stuff happened.
Antonio Inoki helped arrange for the show that happened in North Korea, where WCW talent went there and like Japanese talent was there too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this is when Steven Regal comes out and is like bashing these legends and stuff. And I wrote in the note, I was like, wait a second, is Steven Regal doing Legend Killer like like Randy Orton? Is he gonna fucking start owning the legends?
I guess he threatened to. I mean, he beat Larry Zbyszko, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. And I guess he's been disrespecting people lately. And then he's like, oh, you're lucky you're retired. And then Inoki, this is my favorite part of this. Inoki got mad and he took his jacket off and the crowd went apeshit. Like you're like, oh my god, that was like one of the biggest reactions that night is when Antonio Inoki got mad and threw his jacket off.
Dude, he looked like he wanted to get down. Like Those are the moments that I kind of like in WCW a little bit, where you like, it almost has that real fight feeling to it, especially when Inoki did that and stuff. And then, other times, especially with Larry Zbyszko happening, where he's like, I'm, this veteran guy. I had the most fucking epic heel turn ever in history. So let me go beat this fucking, at this time, probably kid of a wrestler. And I like those moments.
Yeah, it was cool. It felt like spontaneous is the thing.
Yeah.
Not fucking pre-planned like how a lot of raw WWE shit is. It feels very staged a lot of the time, and then AEW is guilty of it too in different ways. It's not the same, but it's different.
Unless you have backstage fights that like shadow over pay-per-view events that were good.
Yeah, the specter of all the drama that they don't want anybody to pay attention to, but it keeps happening.
Yeah.
And then they cry about stop bringing it up. Well, fucking get control of your shit, and it would quit happening. And but I digress.
Yes. All right, let's get into match 2. Now, this is kind of sad to me because I love both of these wrestlers. I love Vader and I love fucking Boss Man and stuff. But Boss Man is still being the guardian angel.
It's weird.
And I guess this is where Vader starts to kind of like go in the background now, since you got Hulk Hogan here now, right?
Yeah, and I'll still say, your main event guys can't always be the main event all the time, because then people will get sick of them. So sometimes you gotta shuffle them out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay if they do something with some other guy for a little bit and they're not in the title picture or whatever. And it's kind of like it seems that's the position Vader's in right now, because it's not like the Guardian Angel, Big Bubba Rogers, the Boss Man is fucking nobody. Everybody knows who he is. He's a big star, basically. So he's fighting somebody of some kind of note.
It's just that his getup, man, is just
yeah,
is like white shirt and red pants and stuff.
Well, Nick Bockwinkel foresaw the issues that were going to happen 20 years from now with police brutality. So he made him stop brutalizing people. And now he's now he's brutalizing people without a badge. He's just doing it with his hands and feet. Somehow that makes it better.
I think if we had Vader and the Boss Man with his gimmick and stuff, I'd be marking out a little bit more. And it's kind of sad that it's the same person, just this weird getup. It kind of throws me off a little bit. It kind of just doesn't feel like him.
No, it feels off, and I don't know. I think this is a phase, an unfortunate phase that he has to go through, because I don't even remember any of this shit.
I vaguely remember it, but then when I watch it, I was like, oh no, I forgot about this version of fucking Boss Man.
Of course, honestly, at this time, I wasn't even watching WCW television. I barely even knew about it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I really didn't know anything about any of this. But let's see. This match starts Boss Man's. I'm just gonna call him Boss Man. I'm not calling him fucking Guardian Angel and shit. This is stupid. He's punched Harley Race in the face and he threw him over the fucking top rope. Harley Race is again taking these insane bumps, and he's supposed to be retired. And this is just a big beefer. It's just two big old slabs of meat hitting each other kind of match, that thing. I know. I heard it all in. They did, or was it All Out? I think it was All Out where Miro and fucking Hobbs wrestled.
Yeah.
They did this really cringy beef chant. They're like, beef, beef, beef. And I'm like, it's kind of strange, but okay. They just beat the shit out of each other for a while. Boss Man will on occasion get the upper hand by out brawling Vader, surprisingly. Or he just overwhelms him with his superior speed because he's a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And And then Vader will just bust out some insane move. Like, he does he did a spinning heel kick from a shoot off. I've never seen Vader do that. And then he did a top rope sunset flip. He did fucking Johnny B. Bad's finish. And I'm like, why is he doing these moves? He's like, has he got something to prove? I guess because I guess that's kind of Vader's thing, though, in a way, because he can do a moonsault and shit. He's like, well, if it's two big guys, I don't want anybody to think it's just two big, slow guys fighting, and that's definitely not what they did.
Mm-hmm.
So, the finish was Harley produced like a telescopic nightstick for Vader to hit Boss Man with, but then like Boss Man stopped it and he grabbed it and he was like, it's like the old instinct came back to beat the shit out of somebody mercilessly with a police weapon.
He went Rodney King on him.
he had a fucking flashback, and then the referee saw him holding it, and then he disqualified him. And I was like, "Oh, you made Boss Man look stupid." that was terrible finish. Oh, I thought it was fun enough, but I didn't really like that Boss Man wasn't finished by the Vader bomb followed by the top rope moonsault. I thought that was kind of bullshit a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he did both moves. He did that move, and then he was like, he immediately got up to do the other one and hit it, and he kicked out of it. And I was like, that's bullshit. No.
It's, I don't know. It's a dusty finish, but it's also kind of like, I kind of get it a little bit. Whereas, like, you have Vader and you have Big Boss Man, and like, we have to make them look strong, but then they make fucking Boss Man look stupid, and it's weird.
I don't like that I don't like it when they make baby faces look stupid. That's like the worst thing you can do for a baby face. It's like death.
But they always they always do that.
I know.
Every baby face, they always, even today they do that, where it's like the heel is smart, like a smart ass villain. And then you have the fucking baby face who's like this fucking stupid person that gets into situations where it's either disqualifies or they like get outnumbered and beaten down pretty hard.
That's why, see, what's funny is they could have executed this a little differently where it wouldn't have made Boss Man look stupid if they just timed it better. Where instead of like, he stopped he stopped an attack on him, like with an international object, as WCW would say. So he grabbed it. All that had to happen was the referee had to turn around like 2 seconds earlier. And he wouldn't look dumb. It's like he happened to stop the guy and he was just holding it because naturally that's what happens when you grab the weapon out of somebody's hand.
I always hate the inconsistencies of refs again, but I know they do that based off of what's being booked and what's the finish. But like every time they have like a weapon in hand, either they just, like when they drop it really quickly, they the referee kind of like ignores it and like lets the match continue. But then you have referees that see it and automatically ring the bell.
I think that's like an unspoken rule where, referees have different levels of discretion.
Mm-hmm.
Like some referees are like more apt to just let the guys bend the rules a little bit, like Earl Hebner,
Yeah.
Or something like that. But and some guys are like sticklers, like this dude, where he was like, no, fuck you, you can't hold the weapon, get out. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about this one?
I again, I respect these guys. It's just that they're being booked really, really weird. Vader's always great, but the whole guardian angel thing kind of ruins it for me.
That's lame.
I'm gonna give it a 5.3 out of 10. I think it's good. It's good enough wrestling. It's just that the way it's booked and then how the gimmick is for Boss Man is I can't put it up any more than 5.3.
I give it a 5.7 because it's like the stuff in the match happened was decent enough.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I think the finish is what really hurt it more than anything. They could have come up with even after I fixed that finish, so to speak, it's still not really a good finish. It just makes it less insulting.
So is this pretty much making it the feud to go longer from this point?
Maybe. I feel like probably. So
Yeah,
this must be what Vader's doing. Is he's going to feud with Boss Man for a little bit until he gets
because if you remember the steel cage thing when Boss Man was the rep, and then Bockwinkel stealing, like pretty much firing him and taking his gimmick away.
He took away his badge.
Yeah, and then this match, like if this ended this way and there was no other match, I'd be like, this is fucking terrible. It's just stupid booking. But I guess we'll see. Anyway, they do a little segment here. I kind of marked that a little bit because I saw Mike Tenay. I was like, hey, you don't see Mike Tenay that much until Nitro, pretty like down the road.
The professor.
Yeah. Tenay and Chris Cruz are trying to interview people backstage because they were doing this thing where they would stand by the door or whatever, and when the wrestlers come, they would, I guess, answer questions and stuff for fans.
For the hotline.
Yeah, for the hotline. And Terry Funk comes in and just fucking ignores him. Literally
I think he spit tobacco at them and walked off. It was great.
Yeah. And then we got clips earlier from where Molly McShane defeated some men in a handicap match.
What was that? Like I never heard of her before.
Me either.
She was like actually seemed kind of okay, like for a woman wrestler at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never heard of her in my whole life.
That's a fucking name, dude. Like Molly McShane. It's like, is it Shane McMahon in a fucking drag wrestling fucking men?
That sounds like a very 90s or even 80s wrestler name right there.
Let me actually continue with your notes, but let me look up Molly McShane real quick.
Oh, I didn't have any other notes. I just had the next match. So I didn't write any of that stuff down, I guess.
Oh, I guess tell me the next match then.
All right, then. Well, the next match is Arn Anderson and Dustin Rhodes versus Bunkhouse Buck, Kenny's dad, and Terry Funk with Colonel Rob Parker and Ming. I was just shocked that Ming is now with Colonel Parker and his fucking group. I'm like, why is he with them?
I don't know. I looked her up, by the way.
What'd you find?
Molly McShane is an American female professional wrestler. She's known as working with Steel Kittens Productions. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Steel Kittens.
Yeah. She had a high-profile match in WCW where she faced Medusa in a hard-fought match. Molly was a 1994 Rookie of the Year, kind of like how Marcus Alexander Bagwell.
They're going to find those rookies.
Yeah. Molly wrestled Malia Haska in ECW and at NWA Bloodfest Day 1. So that's all was written on her wiki.
So she had like a little stint in WCW, and I guess she wrestled Medusa on TV or on a pay-per-view or something.
Yeah, and it was apparently a hard-fought match.
So it must be decent.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll have to check her out later. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this is the continuation of this feud here. And I got some notes about this match, but
this match kind of annoyed me a little bit because like I knew something was off right away because I never knew about like what happens as far as the turn here.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but like at the same time, I'm like, oh man, Dustin is in the ring a lot, and the commentating team kept on bringing it up, and I predicted right away. I was like, Arn Anderson's turning on him because Arn Anderson kind of like in his promos before he said something about hitting his grandmother for like money and shit.
Yeah,
and I'm like, he's saying these promos. He's kind of like showing Dustin, I'm gonna fuck you.
I have the capacity to fuck you.
Yeah. would you have for notes in this match?
I talk a little bit about the action in it because, like, in some cases, it was pretty good. I mean, Terry Funk's in this match.
Yes.
So is Dustin. Arn basically doesn't participate almost at all.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But like, let me see here. No, I don't think I really want to get into like the nuts and bolts of it as much. I didn't write like extensive notes, but I did write a little bit of things about the action. But I will say Terry Funk does the great punch drunk stagger selling that he always does. I fucking love that shit. And then Dustin always, I always like when he does this spot too, where he goes to like crossbody somebody and he just launches himself out of the ring like he missed.
Yeah.
It's a great babyface oh no spot, like a peril spot, I guess you would call it. Let's see. Terry hits a pile driver. It was awesome. It would have been 3, but Arn broke the pin up. And I said Terry's got a way of doing moves where he like delays the impact of it. Like he did it with that, and he does it with like a back suplex later in the match where he like holds him up for like longer than what you think he'd be able to, and just kind of like, like the momentum of them falling back is what carries it more than anything. I don't know. It's like a different way of doing that move, and it looks good. This is let's see. Yeah, this is where the finish happens. And Terry, Katie's dad, beat on Dustin in the corner for a while until Dustin manages to fight them both off. And he comes back on both of them. And he finally tags Arn in. Like, this point, the match has been like almost 20 minutes, I think, or something. Or close. It was really long. And then, like, Arn comes in and he turns around, he DDTs Dustin. He hits him with DDT, and he drags Terry over top of him because Terry was selling because he just got hit with a comeback, and he pins him like that. That the referee's like, well, I guess I have to count, and he counts. And after the match, the whole crew beats down Dustin, and Arn stomps on his arm and breaks it, which Dustin sells his ass off, making it very convincing. The passion of Dustin continues.
I kind of wish, like, when Arn Anderson was the manager for Cody Rhodes, I kind of wish like he'd turn on Cody Rhodes at some point. Like, I feel like that's what it was leading to.
It should have. He should have at some point, yeah. Like, I don't know, maybe he should have. No, I don't want to get into that shit. But just, like I said, you should have managed this guy. Nah, fuck it. I almost can't speculate. I almost don't even want to speculate about like AEW anymore. I kind of like, I had this thought earlier today at work where I was thinking about like how their ratings are declining. I'm going off on a tangent, but it'll be quick. The ratings are falling down. Their live attendance is falling down in America. I mean, I know everybody keeps saying the Wembley Stadium and all this, and like, I just don't think people really understand that like they'll probably never be able to do that again either.
We'll see in 2024 because Tony Khan just said, "Let's fucking go."
They're not going to get that figure again. But like, I'm just like, and all this fucking shit that we talked about earlier and the drama and stuff, and I'm almost to the point where I've really just about wrote them off in terms of like investing in them any. They're almost like TNA to me. They're almost to that point where like there was people in TNA that I knew were good wrestlers, and I like to kind of like almost pay attention to what they were doing a little bit, but I never could fully just because of like the state of that whole company. It's a very, very similar kind of mindset I've fallen into.
But they have a better backstage thing than fucking AEW. It's kind of weird.
Well, no, I wouldn't say it's better backstage. It's just like it's almost the same in a way. Like, because okay, here's the thing: TNA had a good period for a while where there was no drama and nothing bad was happening for several years, and then it got really bad for like the other 5 or 6 years. That's like that's really infamous and everybody knows about now for all the wrong reasons. Where Whereas AEW, it was like they had a good initial year, and then then you started hearing about bullshit, and then the stuff with Cody, and we'll never really know the truth about that, I guess, for who knows how long.
I don't think we're ever going to hear about it because Cody is very professional and he's not going to do that.
I will say in the documentary WWE produced for him recently that he said that he left AEW for personal reasons, and that was all that he said. So read into that what you will. But yeah. Anyway, back to this. If anybody is getting persecuted for their beliefs, it's Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah.
How many times is Dustin going to get fucked over? He can't win. He can't just win a match. He always gets fucked.
Do you think it's the booking where they just don't believe in him, or is this kind of like a baby face where he's going to overcome his battles?
See, it's kind of like a Dusty thing a little bit. Like, I know what you're thinking, because that happened to Dusty a lot, where he'd lose or get fucked, and it would happen for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would win, and it would be like, yeah. But I think this leads to why Dustin leaves WCW, because it doesn't really ever happen for him.
Yeah.
He's like in this loop, this shitty loop of like losing and having injury angles done to him, and then like it all culminates in that really shitty match he referenced recently where he fought a guy in the back of a truck bed.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the match. A guy was driving a truck and they were fighting in a truck bed. It's stupid. But that's all I got to say about this match. Did you have anything about it?
No. I just wrote Terry Funk is a fucking king.
Yep.
Dustin, usually I've been hard on Dustin in WCW, but this is like actually my favorite out of this fucking whole feud is this match with him in it. It's just a shame that they had to do this like Arn Anderson. Here's the thing, like I thought when I first initially watched this that Arn Anderson got pissed off that Dustin wasn't tagging him in. So I thought he just like shows like, fuck this, I'm out. And like DDTs him. But then later on we find out why he did it when they had that cheesy fucking partying in the back room kind of thing going on.
Didn't they do that with Dustin before with somebody else where it was like he wouldn't tag them and they got fucking mad and they attacked him?
Mm-hmm.
Who was that? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Like they did that exact angle, but this one I don't think played out the same. I think Arn planned to fuck him. Is what this was.
Like I said, the promos, if you listen to it carefully, like he's setting him up and stuff. But Kenny's dad is still terrible.
It sucks.
It's just amazing how he's a wrestler. He was brought in by Colonel Parker, apparently, right?
Family.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega is a much better wrestler than his father. you heard it from me, and I'm somebody who's like really kind of harsh on him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I recognize he has good points, but my problem is his bad points are like almost as equally like big. It's weird.
I guess if we go full kayfabe about him, being Kenny's dad and stuff, I guess the apple did fall away from the tree very, very far.
It did. He had more natural talent. Dude can't even do a pile driver. That's like one of the easiest moves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's easy to do. I don't know about executing it correctly. That's a whole other story.
Yeah, but what'd you give this match? What'd you rate it?
I gave it a 5.5 out of 10 because the action was good, except for when fucking Kenny's dad got in there. Because Terry Funk's in this match fighting Dustin, beating his ass. I mean, like, what's to not like about that? And then when Dustin's able to do something, it's good. That's the thing. It's like you say, you've been harsh on Dustin, but it's like none of it's really his fault,
Mm-hmm.
It's just shitty booking. Like, he's a great wrestler. He's stuck with like this shitty booking.
Yeah.
That's why I get really mad when I think about, like, man, Dustin probably could have even been a bigger star than what he turned out to be. It's just it didn't work out that way for him.
He never became world champion, right?
Never.
That's weird, dude.
He had so much talent. I mean, he still does, but like back then, like the way he can move and work and everything, and he could do promos, like what the fuck?
It's just amazing that the Rhodes family never won the big title. Besides, like, if you think about, like, I know NWA, I get that.
Dusty did, excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, and also Cody, he got the NWA championship as well.
Well, that title's irrelevant now.
It's so fucking weird that it's irrelevant.
Like that when Dusty won it, it still held meaning, and then whatnot. And I think he held the big gold later too, when it changed. But yeah,
it's just weird that you have this lineage of greatness, and they're like never won the world title for WCW nor WWE. So,
well, maybe Cody will win. Maybe he'll finish the story or whatever the fuck.
Finish the story.
What did you score this one?
I gave it a 5.6 out of 10.
Okay, we're like right there.
Yep. Hold on a second. Yeah, we already talked about the arm beaten up. Mean Gene Okerlund tries to get an interview with Arn Anderson following that, but he isn't interested in giving an interview with his new buddies. And the commentary team has Hank Aaron on there.
The fuck, yeah.
It's so weird that they have these guys come on commentary and they just ignore him for the rest of the show. Like
don't look at him. Don't acknowledge him.
And Bobby Heenan's the only one that like throws jokes at him and they just ignore him.
That's like how like the modern WWE style of like shooting things is to like act like there's never a camera around you ever.
Mm.
Like just pretend there's nothing there, like your wildlife or some shit. It's just so bizarre. Oh yeah, there's a spot here where after Mean Gene tried to talk to Arn and he said fuck you, and he just walked away.
Mm-hmm.
They go back to Bobby and Tony. They pitch back there, and then Bobby just starts ranting about Dustin, and he's just like, he's a loser. He always has been. The Rhodes family's always been losers. And he's like, hey Dusty, get your pickup truck, come down here and pick up your kid. And they played it on the PA system, like everything he was saying, and everybody started booing the shit out. It was great.
Oh my god. They went to Mean Gene backstage with world champion Ric Flair and Sherry talking about Hulk Hogan and stuff, and like Ric Flair's like fucking jizzing that Arn Anderson's a fucking heel again.
He's like, yeah, the old Arn's back. Woo!
Did you have anything about this promo? Like, do you feel like Ric Flair is like all in with this main event going on right now?
I feel like he is as much as he can be. Like, the shit with Flair and Hogan's weird. Like, you feel like they have like a contentious relationship, but I actually don't really think they ever did. Weirdly enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like on the outside, I think that's what a lot of people think.
Yeah,
but I don't really. If you ask him, no, it was just like some kind of like, there was some kind of like a little bit of like a jealousy there. It's like, damn it, fucking Hogan, he outdraws me here, and there kind of thing. But Rick never really took it personally, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like a friendly rivalry thing. So that was interesting to find out, but Flair just does a Flair promo. I mean, I'm not saying that like it's, fucking derogative or something. Just
yeah,
Flair does his promo and it's good. He's the greatest of all time, and he's not sweating Hogan because he's the champ and Hogan's the challenger. And then Sherry backs us up by saying Hogan's the challenger and he's the one whose career is in the toilet right now. In so many words, she just basically shits on him. I thought it was pretty good.
If you think about it, like if Hulk Hogan never goes NWO, like Sherry's kind of right. It is kind of going in the toilet.
It was, yeah. I mean, if he never did that, I mean, we're going to see the result of him resisting some kind of change for a while because we get good guy Hulk Hogan here all the way up to Bash at the Beach '96.
Yeah.
So,
Ugh.
buckle up.
I'm only looking for the Halloween thing Havoc happen.
I'm looking forward to the Dungeon of Doom feud because I know it's going to be fucking awful.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the Dark Side Hogan when he's like, they've corrupted me, brother. And he's like wearing like black and he's got like a fucking sword. He has like a long sword for some reason. It's just weird. But now we got Ricky Steamboat versus Stutty Steve Austin, who's the champion for the WCW United States Championship. And I was like, all right, this should be good.
Yes.
And it basically was good. My only thing about it was I think it went too long.
Yeah. I'm trying to see what else matches were there. Fucking tag match after this.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that too.
Yeah.
But I didn't write that many notes because mostly because I was paying really close attention to this, but also because where the match was so long, I feel like the match was like 25 minutes or something.
Yeah, I think it was.
But it wasn't like, oh, there's nothing happening. It's just I don't really think it was worth writing as many notes about it because it was just like it was good work, but it's like they would do the start, exchange some offense, slow down, grab a hold or work something, and then start the process over again, kind of thing.
Plus, this is a match that like you have to pay attention because these two guys are amazing wrestlers, and always Steamboat with the selling and shit. And Steve Austin also selling his ass off. Like it I don't know, like they're not big as like a Hulk Hogan type of body, but it's kind of like Titans fighting each other, these two, Steve Austin and Ricky Steamboat, because it's just wonderful to see.
It's like these big athlete guys are fighting.
They're like OP.
Yeah.
But what notes did you have? Did you have any notes?
No, like kind of what I just said kind of summed it up. I mean, there was a long back and forth. They do several back and forth fighting spots, which is cool because it makes Steve not look like a total putz. Like he's actually got some skill that he can fight Steamboat. They did the tombstone reversal spot's always cool, especially if you can do it and not like fucking blow it. They did it 6 times. They did the tombstone. I'm gonna flip and put you in the tombstone, and then, but they did it to each other 6 times. And I was like, "What the? I've never seen anybody do it that many times." It was great. Steamboat got the better of it, and he hit Austin with the tombstone. And then I think Austin tried to get DQ'd several times after that, but the referee almost throws the match out because something happened. I don't remember what he did exactly, but Steamboat managed to convince him to not throw the match out because then he wouldn't win the title. Steamboat hits crossbody on Austin after that, but then Austin reversed the momentum and got his feet on the ropes, cheating to pin Steamboat after all that.
Did you see Austin's fucking big spine buster? Like, it looked fucking cool.
Yeah, he did that like, I guess this is where he first started doing this move. To my knowledge, it's the first time I've seen him do it. It's not like an Arn Anderson spine buster. It's like he picks Steamboat up and just goes wham and just like fucking slams him on the fucking mat.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, when you take like sandbags and stuff and you just like plop it down. Like that's what Steve Austin does.
That's a pretty good sandbag spine buster. I like it. That's Austin's spine buster. He pulled it back out later in WWF. Like I think after that Alliance run, he brought it back. I always thought that move was pretty cool.
Yeah, and Steamboat does the fucking stud gun. Fucking die, dude. Like that looked cool too.
Oh, that looked great. Yeah, people always ask him like, "Hey, why'd you quit using the stun gun? Because it was a cool move."
Mm-hmm.
And he basically said it was because it was difficult to execute. Which, when you heard him explain it, it made sense because it was like you have to be really precise that the guy hits the ropes like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing was he couldn't do it to everybody. So like that's one of the keys to like a good finisher is like you can do it to everybody. It doesn't matter what size they are.
Yeah, you got to make it look good too. And also, I'm gonna bring something up. I think it was like indie wrestling, whatever. But someone was running the ropes and they like fell back like too early,
Yeah.
and they went into the middle rope, and then their head got caught in the rope where it like whiplashes the neck. So I imagine when Austin does the stun gun, like they have to be careful and make it look good that they're snapping from the ropes because they could get their head fucking caught in the ropes and have whiplash too.
Yeah, I think it goes into what he was talking about, how there's a lot of precision involving like executing that move because you gotta make sure you're guiding the guy, and then he has to make sure he's gonna land the right way to not fucking snap his neck or some shit.
Yeah, nobody's a fucking Darby Allin where they take a fucking rock bottom on the top rope and then just fucking hits their head on the apron as they go down.
Did you see that shit where like they had like that shitty coffin match or whatever at All In,
Mm-hmm.
and then like he fucking landed on the coffin with his. I guess he did his coffin drop on the coffin, which was like, to me that was like stupid because it's like, why are you wanting to take bumps on a coffin? You not know what the fuck happened to Shawn Michaels, who didn't even try to do a bump on a coffin. It was an accident.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it like Darby Allin is gonna turn into Jeff Hardy, where he's gonna get like fucking multiple DUIs and go to jail because he's gonna be fucking high off of drugs and alcohol because he's gonna be in pain.
No, he's straight edge, man.
Yeah, okay. Wait until he has to take those beans and shit to keep on wrestling.
I mean, CM Punk straight edge. It might explain why he's so cranky now, because he never took any medications ever, and he's gone through his whole life just being in pain and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a good match. I think it was maybe a fuzz too long. Like I feel like they probably could have cut 5 or maybe even 10 minutes from it. And I know that's weird to say, but like I just feel like the pacing of it and like the stuff that happened in it didn't match the match length. Like it was like it should have been like maybe a 20-minute match or something.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it a 7.2.
I gave it a 7 out of 10. I don't have like it's long, but like when you look at I looked at the card again and I was like, I don't want more of a match of Lord Steven Regal versus Johnny B. Bad, so no. Maybe they could have gave a little more time for Harley Race, Jesus, Vader versus the Guardian Angel, or
Harley Race versus the Guardian Angel. That's what I want to see.
Fuck yeah, dude! Fuck
I want to see Harley Race do some insane bumps that he shouldn't be doing. But I guess he says, fuck it, I can do what I want, and he fucking does it anyway.
Oh, I have to bring this up since we're talking about Harley Race. So Hulk Hogan went on Joe Rogan's podcast recently, and
are you going to tell a story where he set the ring on fire?
He did it again. He lied. Did that lying story again.
God damn it!
He can't stop lying. It's so fucking ridiculous.
It's insane. He's like a pathological liar. I don't know. That shit about Brett, that fucking pissed me off too.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't know. He thinks he's like the best wrestler ever or some shit. And I'm like,
he is.
He kind of fucking is in a way. Like, not the same way as you, maybe, like in your own way. But like, I mean, I can't take this shit away from him.
Bret Hart saved WWF, I think. If they didn't have Bret Hart, I don't think they would stay afloat during the trials.
No, because Michaels was too fucking he was too unreliable when he started getting on drugs and shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We'll get to Vince McMahon soon.
Pal.
Yeah, pal. Did you see his stupid fucking do-rag at the fucking stock market?
Oh, that was an AI thing.
Oh, it was? Oh, okay.
It was like it was a very good one because I was like, "There's no way he has all of his hair. Why the fuck would he do that?" And then I was like, "Oh, okay, it's AI." Damn, it was a good one.
I thought he went fucking insane. I thought he was bringing back fucking ECW do-rag Vince McMahon with that mustache.
Do-rag Vince is something else. I love it. But also, I guess we should note that like Monday was like the last McMahon run WWE show because now they merged with and they're all TKO Holdings now, and now the McMahons no longer control the company like anymore. Exactly.
Yeah, because that other guy who is part of the other company has like a 51% thing on it. It's just weird. I also want to like bring up too, all you fucking dirt sheets and all you fucking social media douchebags. They're all just like, oh, this is the end. Like Vince McMahon is not going to have any stock in this new company. And then they found out that today that he still is kind of part ownership of the WWE with stock of TKO.
Yeah, there was like a whole clause about him having like preferential like fucking shit with his stock options or whatever. He's still got a lot of power.
Yeah, and it's just like you guys don't understand. He made the deal. He wanted this to happen. And by God, you're not going to get rid of him just because he fucked a couple of fucking women and stuff.
They forgot about all those stories, or not really all those stories, but the story that broke a few months ago after it revealed that Vince was basically back, and like all the stuff in his clauses for being there for like the merger and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They all either didn't pay any attention to it or forgot about it, because otherwise they wouldn't be fucking saying stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
But back on track at the beach. What we got here?
The backstage segment with Carl Parker and his fucking
yeah.
The Stud Stable, that's what they're called.
Yeah, the Stud Stable, Jesus Christ. This is the party scene, right? Where Arn Anderson gets fucking champagne on him.
Yeah. It was like the promo was kind of weird too. Like a little bit. Like Mean Gene finally got to talk to Arn, and in the back they're all like chugging champagne and like
having women.
There's women there. And then Arn said he wasn't going to suffer for doing the right thing or something. So he betrayed Dustin for a payment and contract with Carl Parker. And it's like, okay, like, I guess he got a payday or whatever out of it. To me, the best part of this though, was after the camera cut off and we went back to the arena, like you could still hear the audio there for like a second.
Mm-hmm.
And Gene says, "You girls ought to be ashamed of yourself. Beautiful girls like you." Like for like hanging out with these fucking reprobates. Like,
I imagine that segment was supposed to be something fucking normal, and Terry Funk just fucking ruined it. Went off script and stuff. Terry Funk probably fucked those women and shit, and like Mean Gene was mad, and that's why he said that. You women should be ashamed. Oh my God. We're never going to get another Mean Gene.
No, we're never going to get another of a lot of people.
Yeah. Because like, sorry, we keep on going like on these tangents and stuff, but
it's been too long. That's why.
I thought when AEW first came out, remember like they like recruited Chris, I call him Veal. I don't know his real Villette or whatever his name
Chris
is.
Van Vliet, whatever.
Yeah, Veal.
Chris Van Fleet.
Chris Veal Cutlet. Like, I like his interviews, and I was like, that is interesting because he has a rapport with all these wrestlers. I think he would be perfect as an interviewer. And then I guess that was like only a one-time thing.
I guess it was.
He had like a chance, but whatever. I'm not saying he would be the next Mean Gene, but he'd be better off than what we have today as, that Martinez guy that looks like he took a shit every time he, does an interview.
Oh, that guy who's like perpetually fucking afraid of the camera. Yeah.
Yeah. Or fucking all the robotic fucking people that are at WWE that do interviews too.
They get made to fucking do that though.
Yeah.
I think Renee, I almost called her Renee Moxley Good because that's what Cornette always calls her.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's married to fucking Moxley, but his last name is Good, and he calls her Renee Moxley Good. Fucking, I think Renee got exposed for not being as good as everybody always thought she was, though. Which, I'm gonna be real. I never really understood why everybody thought she was so great anyway. I thought she was just okay.
She's not great. The only time she's great is when she's doing the SmackDown talk show with Daniel Bryan.
That was like the best thing she did. Yeah, pretty much. Like people said her commentary was really good. It's like, not really. No.
Beth Phoenix is a better commentator than
she's
Renee.
Way better.
Yeah.
It didn't get anywhere near the recognition, which is bullshit.
Booker T's now on NXT. Sorry.
I love Booker T's commentary. I don't give a shit what anybody says. He's fucking great.
He's on NXT now, right?
Yeah.
Fuck
you gotta watch the clip of that match between Becky and Stratton. Because Booker is like losing his shit. Like during the match, he's like, "Is she gonna do it? She's gonna do it! Oh no!" And then like she misses the moonsault and gets fucking rock bottom basically. And he's like, "Oh no!" She gets bit. I want Booker T and Titus O'Neil to do commentary together.
That's fuck, man, that'd be great, dude.
I want Titus is like the babyface version of Booker because Booker tries to be like a heel.
What's up, Sweet D, and what's up, Tech? Sorry, I just saw you guys fucking messages.
look at these guys.
Look at these guys over here.
These guys.
But yeah, just a little bring up the thing with Von Wagner and Braun Breaker. Booker T looks like he just saw like death happen because they took a picture of him and people like zoomed in on his face and stuff. And he's like, some people put memes in there like, "Don't tell me I just saw what I just saw." Like when he does that commentating.
Yeah.
You remember when Michael Cole said, "Oh, now this wrestler, he has anal bleeding," and Booker T.
It was Jerry Lawler. Remember, he like I don't remember what happened to him. He got hit with a move, some shit, and then they had to cart him out like an ambulance or whatever.
Yeah,
and then like the next segment after a commercial break, I know Vince did this. Vince fucking did this. He made Michael Cole say, "We just got an update from the nearby medical facility because we can't say hospital. That Jerry the King Lawler is suffering from," and there's like a pause, "anal bleeding." And then Booker, there's just like this pause, and Booker's like, "What?" Like he was genuinely perplexed. He heard that.
Oh man. Respect.
Respect.
All right, let's get back on track.
Lord, this is a symptom that we're fucking showing because we're talking about other stuff besides this.
Doing all right, about to head to bed. I'm gonna call night. Tired as hell. See you later, Tech. Have a good sleep.
See ya.
Yeah. So let's get into a tag team match because there is a charisma vacuum that's going to be coming out. But Cactus Jack and Kevin Sullivan with his retarded brother Dave Sullivan, because that is part of the storyline.
You can't say that word.
Oh. All right.
But the Outer Limits did. You remember?
Yeah, I remember.
The clip. Wait a minute. I'm retarded? He looks the fucking chicken.
That was it? No, that was Quantum Leap.
Wait, okay, it's Quantum Leap. I get those two confused sometimes. Okay, whatever. Quantum Leap did it. Why is it? It's okay if they do it. Is that it? Is that what it is? Whatever.
Hold on, I gotta.
Are you trying to find it?
I don't know. Maybe.
This is for Dave Sullivan.
I'm retarded?
Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
It's better with the guts music.
Yeah.
It's so much better with that.
Jesus Christ.
But everybody always says that episode was like real serious, and it was actually like a good.
Oh
lesson.
yeah, I mean, the language during that time was okay, and usually they followed up. And this is the fucking 90s, everybody. 90s was always about anti-bullying and shit. So I bet you it was like an anti-bullying episode or something like that.
We're just joshing. We're just having fun with words. We don't fucking mean anything by it. So
yes,
don't get your panties in a fucking bunch or something.
All right, let's get into some tag team titles match. Fucking Mr. Wonderful and Vacuum Charisma Paul Roma.
Pretty wonderful.
Pretty wonderful.
Pretty Paul Roma. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. And I got something to say about them.
Okay.
Also, this is for the WCW tag titles, and Cactus and Kevin hold them. I thought the match was actually decent for a little bit, and then it like kind of degenerated later.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this: Paul Roma seems to work better in a tag team with Orndorff than with Arn Anderson, and I don't know why that is. It's like not as bad. Maybe because teaming with Arn Anderson and not being that good calls too much attention to Roma's shortcomings. I mean, not that Paul Orndorff isn't good, obviously, but I mean, like, who would you say is a better wrestler if you had a gun to your head between Arn Anderson and Paul Orndorff?
I would have to go Arn.
I'd have to go with Arn. That's the thing. See.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, Arn has this, like, I don't really think they had chemistry as part. I don't think Arn wanted to fucking team with him, though, honestly. Like, I just kind of got that feeling from it.
Arn and Paul? Or Orndorff?
No, Arn and Paul Roma.
Oh, yeah. Dude, Roma's, like, he's a great... I wouldn't say great. I would say he's a good enough wrestler. But he doesn't have the... He doesn't have the it factor.
He has no personality almost at all. Chaz would be ripping him a new one.
After watching the whole thing, what he did to fucking the German sensation
Alex Wright, Das
Wright.
Wunderkind.
Yeah. After what I heard what he did with him, I kind of fucking like wish harm on Paul Roma.
I mean, his career basically died after that.
Good.
Like, so, you know, that was the consequences of his actions. And I got a huge amount of respect for Alex Wright, though, after I learned about that story, because that dude stayed professional the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, huge props to him. But, like, the crowd starts doing the wave during this match because this match is way too long, too.
Yeah, it is.
The other one wasn't way too long. The last one, I thought it was a smidge too long. This one was way too long for what it needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
This needed to be like a 10 to 15 minute match, and probably 12. Just split it even there. But Paul did something that kind of like gave me a weird idea. Like when he did this, he showed a flash of personality for a minute. He did a really good top rope elbow drop. And I was like, well, why doesn't he just do that more? And then he after he hit it, he got up and he was like, wow! Like he was surprised at how good he was. And then like he was like, that was great. And I'm like, wait, there's something there because he started acting like a fucking psychopath for like a second. And I was like, you know what? What he reminded me of in that moment was Patrick Bateman from from American Psycho, because
Yeah.
he kind of has that look, and it's like he was like really impressed with himself, and I'm like, there's a fucking gimmick here with this guy. Like, Paul Roma is the kind of guy that needs a gimmick, because he doesn't have enough personality, and this isn't the right time because it's 1994. But if he was wrestling in the, he was wrestling in the 80s.
I just want to point out
what
Paul Roma better elbow drop than CM Punk. Just point that out.
I cannot argue that because CM Punk has like I like CM Punk, but he has a not good elbow drop. But like, there's if it was like 1988, you could have made Paul Roma Patrick Bateman of wrestling, maybe.
Mhm.
Maybe not the psychotic serial killer shit, but just this crazy yuppie motherfucker who's just
You just have him backstage, and every time like a song comes on, he fucking talks about Genesis and stuff.
Do you like Phil Collins? The match drags. Paul Roma trips Cactus from the outside, and he holds his legs while Orndorff pins him for 3. That was the finish. Cactus couldn't kick out. Pretty wonderful one.
Mm-hmm.
Not much else to say.
New champs, right?
They won, yeah. They won the belts.
You know what? I'm excited.
You're excited for this?
I'm excited because, like, I don't really care for Cactus Jack and Kevin Sullivan.
I kind of don't either. Like, I didn't hate him, but at the same time, I just didn't really feel it.
Now, if it was Cactus Jack and it's supposed to be partner fucking Max Payne, like, that would be kind of better because it makes sense. But then again, we're not watching Saturday night stuff, so we don't get the full context of everything that happened.
I still think about when he fucking atomized that guitar over goddamn, which one was it, knobs or sags? So I still think about that every now and then. I'm
Dude,
like,
the
God
Nasty Boys
damn.
just fucking went to the fifth dimension. They're like gone now.
That's still the best guitar shot I've ever seen. I don't think anything will beat it.
Yeah.
What did you score it?
Because I don't want to be like a douchebag and give it below a 5, so I'm just gonna give it in the middle, 5 out of 10.
I was a slight douchebag. I gave it a 4.9 out of 10. It went too long. If it was like fucking 10 minutes or some shit like I was saying, it probably would have been higher.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. After that match, Bobby and Tony talk about the main event. Heenan says that if Flair beats Hogan, everyone will say, "Oh, we always knew Flair could beat him." And then if the opposite happened, the same thing happens. We always knew Hogan could beat Flair. Either way, it'll be a new era. Heenan does not like Hogan. He pretty much reestablishes that.
Well, they're doing it like it's fucking weird because like when Ric Flair came to WCW, he wasn't fully face, but he was like this tweener type of like face thing going on. Everybody was like cheering him on and stuff. And then when Hulk Hogan came, that's like he went full Ric Flair heel, which I'm fine, by the way. I love heel Flair.
Yeah.
I think he's at his greatest when he's a fucking full heel and stuff. Because when he's when he's like a slight baby face and he does like all these like cheating maneuvers, you're just like, I'm rooting for him because he's a baby face, and I don't like that. I like when he's full on heel Ric Flair. So like, and Bobby Heenan had to go like full Ric Flair, because remember when Ric Flair first came and Bobby Heenan was like, oh, this fucking chump type of guy, because he was still selling when Bobby Heenan hated him in WWE, and then he came here and was like a little bit, and then when Hulk Hogan came, Bobby Heenan is like full team Ric Flair now.
He fucking hates Hogan, like,
yeah,
lesser of two evils there. So this pretty much goes into the match, though. And right after that, the main event, it's Hulk Hogan, Jimmy Hart, and Mr. T versus Ric Flair with Sherry Martel for the WCW World Heavyweight title.
Well, we got to bring this up because this is the first sighting of Shaquille O'Neal being in a wrestling ring.
In the wrestling business.
Yeah. He, was presenting the belt. He held the belt up and all that stuff.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And, Michael Buffer doing his, let's get ready to rumble stuff.
I like the Michael Buffer intros.
Yeah, that's the one thing like WCW always had an upper hand on is when it come to ring announcing. I always dig WCW because of Michael Buffer.
Howard Finkel, though.
He's a charm. He has his charm, but like the whole "let's get ready to rumble" like hypes me up more than anything.
Well, Buffer would do this thing where he would like make it a little flowery. Like he has his little flourishes when he's introducing people.
Mm-hmm.
Like he talks about like he did this and that, and he did this, and he's gonna try to do this today. Like this is Sting. Like it's not just height, weight, where he's from. He puts a little he runs a little storyline through there real quick. And that's cool though. But Hogan does get a really big reaction when he comes out.
He got some cheers.
He's still pretty over. But it's still really weird to me that Jimmy Hart, the guy who managed all the heels for years in wrestling, for years, like a very long time, and now he's managing Hulk Hogan, who's babyface. I thought it was weird when they were there last year, and it's still weird now. It just doesn't fucking feel right.
I fucking hate the theme song. American Man.
Well, they can't use I Am a Real American, so.
Make it better, though. It's so fucking stupid.
Well, they thought that was better. That's the thing.
We're wrong.
Yeah, they were wrong. Let's see. It starts off with them milking for reactions and stuff. And the crowd's going ape for like everything they do, even like little gestures, like reacting to each other. Like, like they'll do it's like they're just taking a step forward and it looks like they're saying shit. Or Hogan's like, come on, brother, let's go. And he like does the arm thing and everybody's eating all that up.
Oh, I forgot to mention Hulk Hogan's co-star from Thunder in Paradise was there. I forgot his name though.
Oh, everybody forgot his name.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, he was big in like the 90s, like early 90s with TV shows and stuff. So,
man, should play Thunder in Paradise on the 3DO. It's amazing.
You can?
I can, I guess. I could obtain it through unscrupulous.
Is it a video game?
Yeah, there's a video game.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's real. I didn't make that up. Now, I might have fucked up. The thing is, I always get this backwards. Like, I either think it's on the Jaguar or the 3DO, and I always forget which one it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, love him or hate him, you cannot deny that Hulk Hogan is an absolute master of psychology and knowing how to work a crowd. He does it here.
Would you compare John Cena to be the Hulk Hogan of the modern era when he was around?
No.
Because
like he's really good, but he's not like Hogan. That's the thing. Hogan's better than him at that. Because don't get me wrong, yeah, Hogan goes through a rough period a little here and there a little bit where like he gets booed. Like, okay, in the WWF, even like in the tail end of his first run there, like he wasn't really getting booed. He was still really over. So it's just that back then smarter fans were sick of him. And like people like us going back and we know all the history and everything and we know what Hogan is and it's like, oh man, this shit again. But at the time he was still really over. But the thing is, like when he comes to WCW, those fans don't like Hulk Hogan as much.
Yeah,
it's a different fan base.
It's kind of like, I don't know if you're big into 90s rap, but it's kind of like West Coast, East Coast type of thing. Like if
Yeah.
Tupac was on the East Coast, they would fucking boo the shit out of him. And if Biggie Smalls was on West Coast, they'd boo the shit out of him.
That's a really good analogy. The only difference is you could argue Ric Flair was Tupac or Biggie, however you want, except when he went to the other place, everybody knew who the fuck Ric Flair was and they respected him and it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So, like he was immune, but Hulk Hogan wasn't. And because there's still a lot of those older fans that are around that know like Hulk Hogan is bullshit showbiz wrestling. That's how they see him. But
It's still on topic, but kind of a tangent. If Hulk Hogan is granted one more retirement match where it's the end of the match,
yeah.
2-part question. A, is he putting himself over? Or B, who would be the young wrestler that would go against Hulk Hogan?
Yes, he would put himself over, and the young wrestler, of course this is going to be WWE, it would be Austin Theory.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because Austin, they know Austin Theory is a great worker. He's really safe. He's not going to fucking hurt anybody. He can be the little asshole young guy, and Hulk Hogan, but brother, I got one more in me, and that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that there it is. To finish that Cena question though, like I was saying, Cena's really good at that, but Hogan is like the master of like, I don't know, being able to convince a crowd to get behind him or some shit. It's really weird. He has a very uncanny ability for it.
Yeah.
Let's see. I also give Hulk credit here, where it seemed like he was actually really trying to have like a match instead of just doing his shtick,
Mm-hmm.
Because he was doing like the rolling armbar thing from Japan, and he was doing like other stuff. He was doing more moves than just Hulk Hogan, I push you, brother. He did do that, but you know what I'm saying. You know how Hulk has a certain kind of match where you can tell he's just not really trying.
Yeah. But it does get into a little Hulk Hogan territory when like Ric Flair is beating the shit out of him, but he's hulking up.
It does happen eventually.
Yeah.
I don't really have much else to say about it. I actually thought it was fun. I kind of liked it.
I didn't. Because again, I think we're biased because we know the history of Hulk Hogan. And yes, I guess you could bring up the point that Ric Flair was okay with it because he's being professional and he wasn't like mad at any point. But I feel like it's the higher ups, the bookers are just like, and possibly Hulk Hogan politicizing, being like, I'm here, brother. I should get the belt, brother.
Give me all the shit, brother.
Yeah. And, going in this match, I'm like, well, I know Hulk Hogan's going to go over because that's how he does things. and I do agree with you. In the beginning, he was actually wrestling. But then it does get into Hulk Hogan territory where I think at this point, it's starting to get old.
It is old right now. Yeah. And here's the other thing too. That's the shit that got him over though. At the same time. So he's doing what worked. It's just taking him a long time to realize it's not working as good as it used to.
Yeah.
And I know what you're saying where we know all this shit about him and everything, but I looked at this match in a vacuum, what it was supposed to be, and with the program going on and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a pretty good match for Hulk Hogan. I think mostly because Ric Flair was in there with him.
Yeah.
And because Hulk Hogan tried to have more of a match than usual.
Yeah.
So I kind of liked it.
What'd you give this match?
I gave it a 6.7.
I gave it a 6.5.
So, well, you were acting like you didn't fucking like it.
I wasn't going to like fucking go all the way in to fucking hate it, but like I respected it because it's Ric Flair.
That's an above average match.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
For a main event match, I think that's probably the lowest though that I gave.
For a main event, yeah, it's not that good, but that's unfortunately, that's Hulk Hogan's style a little bit.
Yeah, and we'll get that for a while.
Yeah. So after that match, like Hogan and his whole entourage enter like an interview area backstage, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan's there, so now he's out of the WWF.
Mm-hmm.
And so is Bruce Beefcake, which we hadn't seen fucking hide nor hair of him ever since Hulk left. And then Hogan does a Hogan promo, brother. He does, I'm Hulkamaniacs and all that stuff.
Eat your vitamins.
Eat your vitamins, brother. And that's it.
Bobby Heenan storms off at the end of the show.
It was great. He just had nothing to say. He just took his headset off and just walked away. Fuck.
What did you give this whole show? Because it's a really mild Bash at the Beach, in my opinion.
It is. I thought it was kind of a dull show with a good match, and then a match that I was dreading somewhat that it ended up being fairly entertaining, which was the main event.
Mm-hmm.
I know Hulk's stale, and one night where he kind of wrestles again isn't really going to change that, though. You can see more blatant evidence that Eric Bischoff is trying desperately to make WCW seem more cool and hip, if you notice throughout the whole night.
Yeah.
There's like Hooters girls hanging out at ringside. And then there's front row, like there's a bunch of models and important looking people and fucking celebrities.
Yeah, like Hulk Hogan's co-star and stuff.
Yeah, like there's seriously like a bunch of these like weirdly out of place looking hot women in like the front row. There was like, why are these people they don't look like they would go to a wrestling show.
Well, that's Uncle Eric. He knows about TV business where sex sells. So
he's trying to make WCW look hip.
Yeah. And eventually he does get it to look hip, but we're not there yet.
It's not through the methods he's trying, though, is the funny thing. It's just through good old wrestling shit.
Yeah.
I gave this show a 6.0 out of 10 because it's like it wasn't really nothing really bad actually happened on this show, honestly. But it was just a lot of like mid kind of shit. And then there was like a good match and then like a pretty good match.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of how it ended up for me.
I gave the same exact score. 6 out of 10. Is this like this is an actual pay-per-view, right? This is not like one of those during the national TV type of stuff.
Yeah, not a Clash of the Champions. This was a pay-per-view. Yeah, this is the first Bash at the Beach.
I think it's a week pay-per-view out of all the WCWs that we saw.
I think they stay weak all the way up until NWO shit starts happening.
Yeah.
But like it's funny because like in the chat like a couple days ago, I was like, "Oh, we're watching Bash at the Beach," because Andy was asking what we were doing or something, and he's like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh no, not that one." And then I was like, "Wait a minute, there's multiple ones that have like controversial events that happen."
Yeah.
I was like, "No, it's not the other one either."
Oh man, I'm gonna get. We'll get to that eventually.
Someday.
I'll leave it at that.
So now we got Raw Dog it.
Yeah, time for Raw in Ohio, Youngstown, Ohio.
that old Youngstown wave.
Yes, and Vinnie Mac is back in the seat, and Macho Man is like fucking thrilled, dude. He's like, not guilty.
And then Vince was like, all right. I was at first I was like, why does he keep talking about like jury shit and like all this? And then I was like, oh, they must have just got finished with that is what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense why JR was in commentating last time we talked about Raw.
Vince must have had to be at court, brother.
Mm-hmm. And fucking Macho Man was putting him over. But we got a pretty sweet fucking Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon fucking video package because of the whole ladder match. Which, by the way, I still think that's like the best ladder match I ever saw in my life.
So far, I'm inclined to agree. I mean, like, I don't know. I haven't seen them all. I I haven't seen that many for. I don't really count Money in the Bank as like a ladder match, exactly, because it's a big clusterfuck.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a ladder match, so
Yeah.
that's different. Um, the TLC is the same thing. I don't really. It's not really like a ladder match either. But yeah, it's a cool opening promo package to catch us up on the feud between Razor and Sean. And Sean's been acting like a chicken shit heel, antagonizing Razor.
Diesel's
And
the IC champion now, right?
Diesel is, yeah.
Yeah.
And they bring back that dramatic fade-in promo from alternating angles, which they did. They did last year with Beverly Brothers and Money Inc., and then they never did it again.
I kind of like it though.
I do too.
It's weird. Like it's like
it's stylized.
mm-hmm.
They're trying to be fancy.
Because it's like they're saying their promo, but like the camera guy is like making it all cinematic. It's like fucking good. I like it.
I kind of like it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just go right into the fucking main event in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, main event and the big, like literally this is like the whole show.
It's no, when I got done, it was like at the 25-minute mark. I'm like, this is over half of the show.
Yeah.
Like it's the show's over halfway done now.
Mm-hmm.
So Shawn Michaels with Diesel versus Razor. And
I got a question.
Okay, you go.
Is Diesel, is this like when he's starting to kind of like turn away from Shawn Michaels? Because he looked like like not phased at all, Diesel. Like he looked like he was pissed being out there.
No, I think he's pissed because no, right now they're still buddies. Shawn and Diesel are, and he's pissed because he doesn't like Razor and he's beating up his buddy.
That's right.
That's why he's pissed. They don't do the split up thing, I think, until like
95.
95, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't write very much about this match because there was too much shit happening.
Yes.
And I couldn't stop watching it either. So it was a good thing. They wrestle like a 90-mile-per-hour style match. It's not 100 because it makes sense. It never stops not making sense,
Mm-hmm.
Because they're wrestling fast. They're wrestling really aggressive. They're doing a lot of stuff, but then they'll slow down for a bit. And then after they get reacclimated to what they're going to do, they start right back up. Sean is like bumping his ass off for Razor in this whole match. He did like the first thing they did. It's like he grabbed Sean and then like he threw him in the turnbuckle and he did like the jump over the fucking turnbuckle bump, but it looked to me like he almost lost control and like fucking it could have ended up a lot worse than what it really did. But that's the thing is it's Shawn Michaels, so I don't know if he did that on purpose or not.
Mm-hmm.
So, part of me thinks he was in control the whole time. It just looked insane.
Yeah.
I like this part. It was funny. It was like HBK kept trying to get back in the ring, and then Razor just kept punching him and knocking him off the apron. And then the third time he like poked him in the eyes. It was like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna get in here now." And they're just doing like it wasn't really like sequences like everybody thinks about sequences now, but they'd get to these breaks in the match where they would like do stuff to each other, and then like Razor was in control for like the beginning part of the match, really.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sean would take over for a bit and get heat, and then Razor would take over and take his heat away and put him in like a submission hold because he's trying to slow his fast little fucker down.
Yeah.
I don't have much else to say because I was just too busy watching it. It was great action. Razor sold really well too for like the way he should have, because he's like a big guy, but at the same time he's not that big,
I have some commentating notes.
You go ahead.
Vince McMahon screams out, "He's oozing machismo." I was like, gross.
No, that's rules. That means Razor's cool.
I know, but it's oozing. It's gross.
He's oozing it. He's too cool.
And I also wrote, Vince McMahon talks about Shawn Michaels' back hurting after the ladder match, and it's like foreshadowing that his back is going to be fucked later on.
Yeah, he took I forgot what happened. I think Razor hit him with like this huge backdrop, and then when Shawn landed, he sold it like, "Oh fuck, my disc!" Like it just, and from there, it's like, yeah, he kept selling his back through the match.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else to say about this?
Macho Man talked about in the beginning of the match, it's ring full of new generation, because they're like selling that tagline that this is a new generation of wrestlers.
This isn't old slow wrestlers like Tugboat and Andre the Giant. I still can't get over that commercial where they're making fun of like Andre the Giant. Like, what the fuck?
When Andre let me slam him at WrestleMania, he died 6 days later.
That's not what happened. God damn it. Oh, jeez. You know Hulk Hogan got Simon Cowell into the United States. He's the one that made that possible.
Yeah, and then he made the album with them.
Yeah, the fucking, oh my god. So you heard that too. Okay.
Yeah.
Great match, great TV match. Shawn beat Razor by Diesel assisting because he did a big boot over the apron.
Mm-hmm.
And then HBK rolled up Razor, pulling on his trunks, and he got a 3.
I also want to point out that Diesel has nice punches when like HBK is holding Razor and Diesel just fucking like punching him to death.
Yeah, he's got pretty solid work punches.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, that looks like it hurts.
What'd you give it? I gave this a 7.5 out of 10.
I gave it a 7.2. I liked it. I've been kind of a fucking Scott Hall mark lately. It's a shame again that they didn't give this guy a fucking world championship belt.
I always heard he didn't really want it, was the thing.
That's interesting.
Like he was, I don't think he liked the pressure that would have came with it and stuff. I think it was like an Eddie Guerrero thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just wanted to like do good shit, basically.
I mean, it shows he's like always in these like weird matches, especially with the 1-2-3 kid, and puts him over.
Yeah, he was one of those guys. Yeah, which when you learn more about Scott Hall's life, it makes sense though that he's like, no man, I don't want fucking. I can't deal with being the top guy.
Dude, his fall away slam looked fucking sick in this match.
Oh, he a great one. Just because Shawn though.
Mm-hmm.
He's just launching himself everywhere like a pinball.
Yeah.
After the match, Razor gets beaten up by Diesel and Shawn, and a bunch of officials come out to stop it.
Yeah, it was kind of weird, like, because they were doing like this kind of like story, like, don't hit the referee because you're gonna owe money, and all the referees started doing this in front of him.
Well, they like that money.
Yeah.
But that's fine. You know what? That's good. I like that. Because I don't like when I like that they came out really fast to stop it, because that's something that just doesn't really happen in modern wrestling enough. Where it's like they're getting some guy is committing a fucking assault on national TV and nobody's stopping it.
Yeah.
No, and apparently that guy has no fucking friends either. And then like at the same time, it also makes the referees. It doesn't make them look like feckless fucking idiots either.
Yeah.
They're like cannon fodder to just get their ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
So it reinforces like, hey, there's, this is all for like this sport is all for real money, and if you strike an official, that's a heavy penalty against you.
I just thought it was funny, like they were doing that motion because, like, I understand why they were doing it.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I wanted to rant about that shit for a minute.
You were putting it over, brother.
Let's put it over.
Speaking
of putting it over,
Todd Pettingzoo looking like a rejected fucking priest. By the way, did you see his get up in this?
He was a disgraced Catholic priest. I was like, what the fuck is his wardrobe? He was wearing like a black button-up shirt with like some kind of like weird vest.
Yeah.
And then he kept making lame-ass pop culture references as he was telling us about SummerSlam.
I mean, this lame-ass fucking savage fucking impression.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
And then, like, I don't know, I kind of zone out now whenever he's on the screen. And I don't really understand ever, like, why people had nostalgia for Todd Pettengill. Like, now after I've seen him a bunch, like, I'll admit it. I used to like kind of think about it once in a while, and I'd be watching wrestling, and I'm watching like WWE or WWF. It's like, I remember a Todd Pettengill guy, but like I never said like he was good or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But there's people that actually was like, oh, man, I miss Todd Pettengill, and then like after seeing him, it's like, why? Like, he's like they tried to replace Mean Gene with this fucking guy, and he's like not good at all.
Yeah. I don't think there was any promos in that. They did talk about like Undertaker versus Undertaker, and I just kind of cringed a little bit.
Oh, they set up the card like like this. That was the thing is the card on paper with these matches they laid out actually seems pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So Lex Luger apparently accepted some kind of challenge from Tatanka, so that could be at least an okay match.
Yeah.
Because we are Lex Luger appreciators here on this show now.
Yes.
And we've I think a lot of people have actually come around to Lex Luger more lately, and realized, yeah, the guy was pretty good.
We'll get a match with Total Package.
Can you afford to pay me, Billy? I don't know. But, yeah, Undertaker versus Underfaker, as I always like to call that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's going to be what it's going to be. Brett versus Owen in a steel cage. Fucking yes.
Yes.
That's good for the title. And then Razor versus Diesel for the IC title. I don't remember that match at all. So like, I don't recall if it was even good or not, but I'm kind of interested in it because of who's in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that doesn't look like a bad show so far. Like when you see those matches laid out. I mean, yeah, Undertaker versus Underfaker was whatever, but those other three, one of them especially, you're going to have like really high expectations for. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be good.
Maybe. So we got a women's match, which was kind of surprising a little bit.
Yeah. It's Bull Nakano with Luna Vachon versus Alundra Blaze, who's the champion for the WWF Women's Championship. And I was like, oh, yeah, Bull Nakano. I remember her. She's cool. I don't care what everybody says. She's got like a unique look. And her being paired with Luna Vachon is like perfect.
Yeah, I thought that like when I was looking at her get up and gimmick, I don't know anything about her. So like I saw her get up and I'm like, you know what? She looks like her and Luna could get along really well.
I love her hair. Like she's got like, it's funny because I remember seeing her on WWF TV back then. I'm like, what is that lady's deal? She looks crazy. And she did this shit where she like stands her hair up, like the front of it is like she's Paul Phoenix from Tekken or some shit. Mm-hmm. Then her hair is long in the back, so it's like a Paul Phoenix mullet.
What was Savage doing where he's like, it's naka on?
I don't know. I think he was trying to be funny. It reminds me of when Cornette calls Michael Nakazawa. He's like, Michael Naka, because they do that thing with him. He goes, Michael Naka, knock it the fuck off and get off my TV. Like, what the fuck? that guy's just such a putz. But no, yeah, Bull Nakano is cool. She's good too. Like she's notable for being like one of those Japanese female wrestlers that were like, that's when it was starting to get known. It was like the fucking women wrestlers in Japan are like, holy shit, really good. Like she's from that period.
Well, Nakano hits a pile driver and then pulls up Blaze into a fucking power bomb, and I was like,
yes,
what
she
the
did.
fuck?
It was great. I can vaguely remember watching matches with these two. Like I remember this stuff a little bit. But even back then when I was, a little kid and I was like, girls are fucking icky and shit a little bit. I was like, you know what? I hate girls, but this is actually like pretty good.
It was like a real fucking match. Like, it's weird. But what do you think about Alundra Blaze, by the way? What's your opinion on her? I
think she is good. She's a good women's wrestler, especially like, an American one. Because, I'm not going to lie. There's a period there for a while where like women's wrestling is weird in America, like the history of it. Because like people kind of act like it just wasn't something that happened at all for decades or something. And that's like not true.
Yeah.
There's pretty much women's wrestling for almost as long as the history of the business goes back, but it's always like an attraction or something. It's like girl wrestlers. That's what they used to call them. Like I feel like there was a really long drought period though, where it just seemed like there wasn't any more notable women's wrestlers for like 15 or 20 years almost.
Yeah.
I can't say it's totally true because you had God, I forgot her name. In the 80s, she had Cyndi Lauper in her corner.
Oh, fuck.
You know who I'm talking about. This is so
I
embarrassing because I'm talking about this shit now. I can't recall her name. Like I just lost it. It's gonna bug the shit out of me. It'll come back later. But Alundra Blaze is really good though, and honestly, like she's kind of like the blueprint, I think, for like what women's wrestlers, North American ones. Yeah, Wendy Richter. There you go. Thank you. There's her. She could have been a lot bigger than what she was going to be, I think, and she got fucked over from politics shit. But anyhow. Yeah, Alundra Blaze is like the blueprint for like modern women's wrestling. She wrestles that style when it didn't really exist yet.
I think she was way ahead of her time.
Yeah. Like you don't really see action like this from women until like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So she was like 10 years ahead of like where things were going to go basically.
Because Blaze was fucking dropping fucking bridging German suplexes and I'm just like,
she's doing Frankensteiners.
Yeah, it's fucking like it's weird seeing that in the early 90s.
And she's fast, she obviously knows how to hit the ropes and stuff. She doesn't look like I don't know how to do this, like that kind of thing.
It's just fucking weird. I liked it. I digged it.
Yeah, there was what they even wrestle like a match that makes sense. They got pretty good chemistry. Nakano uses her strength and size to overpower Alundra Blaze, and she uses her speed and technique to have a chance against Nakano. And there were several near falls in this match where I was like, I don't know who's going to win this. Like I actually didn't really know. I couldn't tell. Eventually, the fight spills out on the floor. Alundra hits a dive from the top rope out on the floor, which is also something pretty crazy for like women to do at that time. And they keep fighting, and then they both get counted out. Do you have anything else to say?
No. I just was impressed seeing Nakano for the first time. And Alundra Blaze. I didn't watch a lot of Alundra Blaze matches, by the way. I've always saw clips and stuff. And actually seeing the full match, I was highly impressed with her. Just watching her work is just it's unreal seeing that because like you said, early 2000s is when we start seeing move sets like that from American wrestlers. And I'm pretty sure a lot of wrestlers like Trish Stratus and Lita and all the other girls that you see in the early 2000s, Ivory and Jacqueline and all that stuff, probably looked at Molly Holly, looked at fucking Alundra Blaze and be like, I want to do that. And you see that. And I fucking really digged it. I actually gave this a 6.9 nice out of 10 for me.
I had to change my score a little bit. It's funny because like when I watched it and I wrote my notes, I was like, that was good. But then when I like talked about it out loud, I kind of talked myself into like raising the score.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually gave it 6.7 out of 10.
What'd you give it before?
It was like 6.1. It was weird. I don't know why. Like it was still, I don't know why I did that. Mm-hmm. It's like sometimes like, you know, when you write notes and you give your score and then you talk about it, it can change pretty drastically sometimes.
Yeah, and it's because you're too focused on making notes and stuff, and then like when you discuss the notes, you're just like, oh, it's actually better than what I thought it was.
Yeah, I talked myself into realizing that, I guess.
Yeah.
All that context I was missing.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the match, Luna tried to attack Alundra Blaze from behind, and Alundra fought the heels off by herself.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So she looked pretty strong anyway. And then I'm thinking I think they're going to have a match at SummerSlam, though, so that could be pretty good there.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We did get news that a hype video for next week's Bam Bam Bigelow and IRS versus Tatanka and Doink match, and I just cringed to the fucking fullest after hearing that.
I heard IRS and Bam Bam Bigelow was like, oh no, they're not saddling Bam Bam with him, are they? And then it was like, oh no, they're a tag team, and I was like, I don't know that that's any better. So I was like, yeah, I don't care about this shit.
But we get an odd King's Court, by the way.
This whole fucking segment, all the way to the end of the show, feels like really weird.
I tried to like rationalize this because I imagine like Jerry probably knew that person or met that person before the show and found out that he was going to quote unquote propose to his fiance, which is funny because Jerry the King Lawler is like, hey, your name is Mike, right? And who is this? Your fiance? And I'm like, well, if he's going to propose, I think he kind of ruined it a little bit. And then he had like a question. He's like, you have a question for her, right? And he's like, yeah, will you marry me? And then they did this, we'll be right back. And then she's in the ring with him. And she gives her answer yes, and then does this awkward, I'm gonna go kiss your fiance now, and then
the fuck was that?
Yeah, and the guy looked like concerned, so I don't know if that was like planned or anything or whatever.
What if he was like, "What, you got a question you want to ask her?" He just goes like, "You want to go to Chili's?" Like it was like it turns into a Chili's commercial.
That would be funny.
But this then, felt like really, yeah. You keep going.
Yeah, but then like Bob Backlund showed up out of nowhere. Like I don't remember Bob Backlund like entering the ring. Was he there the whole time?
I think he was walked out there while that was going on and in the background.
Was Bob Backlund taking a shit and they just had to like fill up time? You think?
No, like what I think actually happened was my theory is Sean and Razor took more time maybe than what they thought it was going to, or something. Like maybe they adjusted it. Like maybe Vince called an audible and said, "This is good shit, pal. Give them like fucking 10 more minutes." And like something like that happened, or whatever. Or like maybe Alundra Blaze convinced Vince to give her more time for a match because he was behind her at that time. Like he was actually trying to have like a women's division when nobody else was.
Yeah.
So like obviously he thinks something of her. And then it was like, damn it, I've burned up so much TV time with these matches that were good. So now I got to rush all this other shit. And like, he's like, all right, just go out there and vamp. And then I'll have Bob Backlund come out while you're vamping. And then I'm going to talk over everything that he says. Nobody at home's going to be able to hear what he's saying. And then a match will happen that will last a minute.
Yeah, Bob Backlund just pretty much said, like, he, like, turned on the fans and stuff, and Vince, like, did this awkward thing, like, while he was speaking, like, let's show what happened to Bret Hart, and, like, nothing happens. And then, like, Bob Backlund is still talking, and then, like, Vince says it again. All right, now we have the footage. Because he probably, like, yelled at the fucking TV producer or whatever.
They lost the tape or whatever.
Yeah. And then they showed when Bob Backlund lost to Bret Hart, and Bret Hart does the babyface thing of putting his hand out for a handshake. And Bob Backlund, like, smacks the fuck out of Bret Hart. I fucking died when I saw that. It's like, and then he put him into, like, the fucking chicken wing chokehold.
This is the start of crazy Bob Backlund, the only good version of him there ever was.
Yeah, so I'm excited to actually see where, we see him, whether it be pay-per-views or certain Raws that we watch.
I don't remember if he had, I think he has a Survivor Series match with Bret, if I remember right. And then, like, I remember this angle where, like, his parents were at ringside, and then Owen came out there, and, like, Bob Backlund had Bret in, like, a chicken wing or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then Owen was out there trying to convince their mom to throw the towel in because he was acting like he was really concerned for Bret's health and he was scared. And it was like a really convincing job. Like you felt like he wasn't fucking being an asshole. Like he was really worried about him. And then he convinced her to do it. She threw the towel in, causing Bret to lose. And then Owen was like, yes! He was like celebrating that he fucked him over. It was great.
Yeah, but that was a weird segment with Bob Backlund being, like, talked over by the fans and the commentators.
With his hair, like the way his hair looked and everything, and he was wearing that suit, he looked like a beefy Donald Trump.
A little bit, yeah.
And he was, like, kind of boring into the camera, like he was staring the camera down. Like this guy wasn't ignoring the camera. He was fucking looking right at the guy. And he was, like, ranting and shit. He just looked insane. I was like, this is going to be so good.
He kind of looked like the Miz's dad.
This is the Bob Backlund I actually like, is the crazy one.
Yeah. Just put the camera, like, straight in his face. It's great. Then we had a not even a match.
It was a job. It was a squash.
It didn't even finish, I don't think.
No, they kept. This was the other reason why I think they front loaded the show so heavily. If you notice during the main event, they didn't take that many commercial breaks, and I don't think they took a break for Alundra and Bull either.
Mm-hmm.
So then it was like, shit, we got to get all our break spots in. We skipped too many of them. So that happened too, because there was a break spot during the King's Court segment that broke it up.
Yeah, and that's when he went out to the crowd, and then he asked her the question, and then they went to break, and then she was in the ring. Yeah,
and then, like, they did, like, a fucking another break, and then they did a break right here during this match. And it's just, Smoking Guns versus George Anderson and Todd Bennett. And
Splash.
They beat him. They did this really cool double team move. I don't know what the fuck to call it, but it was like Bart got this jobber up and like he's gonna do the Dominator, Farouk's finisher. Except he didn't fucking fling him onto the mat, so he was holding him like that up, and then Billy jumped from the top turnbuckle and he hit him, that guy, with an elbow drop right in the face. I was like, damn, that's just killed that guy. That was it.
I was actually surprised it like went off the air because I was like, oh, we're probably gonna get like another match. That's gonna be a match.
Nope. It's like right after that 3 count, they're like, we're done. We got to get out of here. Bye.
Yeah.
They ran out of time.
And like Peacock was like ready to do the next show for Raw. And I was like, no.
No, not yet.
So I gotta admit, like if you take the King's Court out and the last squash match, it was a really solid Raw, in my opinion.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. What'd you give it?
I give this Raw a 6.7 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave it a 6.6 out of 10. I will say probably the King's Court was kind of weird. And the last match, like I would have probably not done it. I would have just probably ended it with the King's Court, probably.
I would have just had Vince and Savage fucking build up the next episode of the show.
Yeah.
For a minute and then call it.
Mm-hmm. Because they had a good stacked, main event first match, and then Nakano versus Lunder Blaze, and then the King's Court doing that weird shit. But yeah, it's solid. You are picking the good Raw matches, Raw shows, I should say.
I am.
Yeah. So what are we doing next? Are we doing Monday Night Raw August 15th, 1994 and WCW Clash of Champions August 24th, 1994?
That is correct. Thank you for having it pulled up because I was pulling it up right now.
Okay. So remember to watch those. I'm actually excited to get to SummerSlam. So after we get through those two, it's going to be fucking fun. Oh my God, War Games is coming up soon. Holy shit.
I don't even know what that's going to look like.
Me either. All right. Well, we're going to end it here. Like I said, Chaz is fired because he put me in a chokehold while shoving Swedish fish in my face. And Zach and me were fearing for our lives. So he is fired at the moment. But until next time, guys, we will see you for more wrestling. Remember, Raw, August 15th, 1994. WCW Clash of Champions, August 24th, 1994. Remember to get some color. Peace.
See ya.
Hold on.
Oh my! What happened to my